Well, Disney's films of 2025 are almost over, so I want to go and look into the future in 2026, and it's looking like a big year for Disney films. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to rank these films by anticipation. The films that we got here to rank are Hoppers, Mandalorian and Grogu, Toy Story 5, Moana, Hexed, and Avengers Doomsday. So let me know, which one of these films are you guys most excited about? Either put a ranking in the comments below, or just put which one you're most anticipated for. And with that out of the way, let's begin off with this ranking. So in last place, I'm going to put the live-action Moana film. These live-action films feel creatively bankrupt. It just feels weird to think that half of Disney's modern content is just them remaking their classics, and this film is no different. And this just shows that Disney has kind of ran out of ideas, and these live action remakes have really overstayed their welcome. And with Moana, a 3D film that is meant to look realistic, so what is the point of even making a live action? And from the details we're hearing, it seems like this is just going to be a shot-for-shot remake, which means that this film is going to serve nothing new for the original film, making it even more pointless and making me just go, why Disney? I understand it's because of money, but the reason why they're even making this movie, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, not just for the company of Disney, but just makes me question why? Why do we have to go back to Moana, considering that it is a 3D animated film and then it's now being turned to live action? I understand for 2D animation, but at this point, we are just going too far into these remakes, so that's why this is much lower. Next up is Disney Animation's Hexed, and well, while the concept does sound very cool, and I like that it's not a musical this time around, and it is going to have a main villain, I need to see more to be excited, because Disney Animation has not made great original films recently, and I'm not going to be like overly excited for everything they're doing in the future, considering in the past I have been let down way too many times, but I still think this one could be a great original film from them. I just need to see more to be excited. The concept does sound interesting and nice, and I really like this concept art, and I'm happy that they are doing more original films, but I need to see more to be more excited. Next up is Mandalorian and Grogu. This is one where I am slightly excited, but I'm sort of conflicted and iffy. Because on one hand, it's nice that we're getting a Star Wars film for the first time in 7 years, but then the setback is that it's just another episode of TV turned into a film, and you immediately go, come on. Star Wars is all they've been for like the last 5-6 years. It's just Disney Plus content constantly, and when you're finally coming back to a movie, it's just more of the same thing Disney Plus. It's very disappointing, and I think the film is really going to be affected by this, where it's just going to feel super episodic, and it's not going to really feel like a movie like they wanted to. I believe this was actually supposed to be season 4 of Mandalorian before they did change it into a film, but that's my big worry, is that will this film justify why this is worth on the big screen rather than just on the small screen? From the trailers, it doesn't seem like the story at all is going to be grander or really show why this is even a movie in the first place, which is why this is much lower. On one hand, I think the film could be okay or decent, but on the other hand, I think the film is just going to not feel like a movie, which is the biggest problem. Next up is Pixar's Hoppers, and at first when I saw the trailer and the concept, I was not super interested. But then, I saw a clip at D23, a 5-minute clip. Not only was it hilarious, but especially with the classic Tom the Lizard meme that went viral all over the internet, but it also has themes of environmentalism, which Disney did say they removed it, but then the director said no, there are themes of environmentalism in here, which means that I think that this film could be very impactful and have a more meaningful message than other Pixar films. I liked Elio's message of loneliness, and it was relatable, but that didn't really leave much of an impact because it's just something we've seen dozens of times. While Pixar has done this environmentalism message in WALL-E, it seems like they're going to be doing it a lot more differently in this film, where we're literally seeing nature and animals. It feels like a very unique and different environment from Pixar, something that we have never seen before. And that's something that I'm really looking forward to this film, that at first I wasn't, is that it just looked too different and didn't feel like a Pixar film. But now I say that again, that might actually be a great thing. This film could feel fresh and different from other Pixar original films, and could make me feel more hopeful for their upcoming original films, considering that their last few originals have not been great. But Hopper's here, with the amount of excitement we've been hearing about the film, oh, I'm getting way more excited and thinking that this film could be way more special than we think. Now at number 2, we have Avengers Doomsday, and my number 2 and number 1 are incredibly obvious, but hear me out with Avengers Doomsday. The combination of the X-Men characters with the Wakanda characters, with the Avengers, the new Avengers, Fantastic Four, like, sure, it may sound overstuffed and overbloated, but seeing all of these big characters from past films, from past universes, all colliding together, this is going to be one hell of an event for Marvel. And not just with this, but with also Secret Wars, these are going to be some of the biggest movie events in history. And what I'm really excited for is just how big are these films going to be. We know Channing Tatum keeps teasing the fact that this film is going to be bonkers and that's going to make people lose their minds. And I'm wondering, what exactly is that about? And I'm also wondering what they're going to do with Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. Sure, it's a desperate cast move, maybe, but I think definitely they could have a great story in mind and make that story more emotional for the certain characters that had a connection with Tony Stark. There's a lot of things writing on this movie, and there's a lot of things just in this movie that make me more excited to the combination of all these universes, all these stories colliding, and just seeing how Marvel is actually going to end the multiverse saga as a whole. And my number 1 most anticipated Disney film of next year, I mean, this is pretty obvious for anyone that's watched my channel, is Toy Story 5. This is one that I am easily more anticipated for just because I love Toy Story, and it's been a franchise that I have loved for years. And what I'm really excited about with this film is how different it feels from the past Toy Story films. This doesn't look or feel like any other film we've gotten. I saw that opening sequence of Toy Story 5 with the army of Buzz Lightyears, and it already made me go, this feels way more different. It does not feel like the last Toy Story film. And the fact that Jessie is going to be a main character in this film, or at least one of the main characters, with her dealing with the fact that she's scared that she's going to be abandoned, just like with Emily, with Bonnie, there's a lot of potential with her side of the story, and I'm excited to see her get more of a big role than she did in Toy Story 4. It seems like Pixar has actually cracked a great story to have with Toy Story 5. And I think with the elements of electronics, adding characters like Smarty Pants, Lily Pad, and some of these other characters, not only could the character be really funny, but characters like Lily Pad and how she has a different perception of how to make Bonnie happy compared to make the toys happy. I think the film could have a great commentary on electronics. I don't think the film's going to have like an electronics is bad kind of message, but I think it's going to kind of show a way how to manage it better. And I think that could be a great message, not just for kids, but also for adults too. It could leave a huge impact on the film. And plus, seeing Woody and Buzz again, and the fact that this franchise will be 30 years old by the time this film comes out, it's so crazy to see Woody after all these years and Buzz after all these years. These are characters that I have loved for years, and the fact that I'm going to see them again on the big screen next year just gets me so excited. And that's why Toy Story 5 is my most anticipated upcoming Disney film of next year. So there's my ranking right here over here. Now, there's not a lot of films this year, but 2027 does look like it could be a slightly bigger and more packed year. So let's take a look at those films right over here and give my thoughts really quick. And no, I'm not really excited for this, considering that it does feel very disrespectful to the studio that made the film, and now that they're gone, you're just going to continue their franchise? This one I could be a little more interested in, but I have to see how Mandalorian and Grogu is, but I do like Sean Levy. Ryan Gosling is great in any film that he's in, especially Barbie. This concept sounds very interesting. Black cat in Italy who likes music. It sounds a little bit like Coco, but it has a bit of its own flair. Can't wait to see what Pixar does with this one. I love the first Simpsons movie, so hopefully after 20 years they better make a sequel that's worthwhile. I've never seen the TV show, but I have heard great things about it, so hopefully it'll be good. This film I am highly anticipating, and it seems like they have a lot more faith in what they're doing than the previous films, and I can't wait to see this entire Frozen saga with Frozen 3 and 4. And finally, this is going to be the biggest movie event in history. I can't wait to see all of these characters from the past Marvel universes and cameos and such into here. It's going to be such an event, and I cannot wait for that.